If you are a beginner photographer, I want to let you in on some things that I feel like you should know to get started. But welcome back, everybody. And if you are new, welcome. Let's go ahead and talk about one of the first things. So as a photographer, one of the first things we focus on is what camera are we wanting to get? There are so many brands out there that we can get. And so this is just depending on what you're more focused on. So I'm not going to sit here and force you to get a Sony like I did. So just choose something. Quick interruption here. You're going to want to switch your camera mode from auto to manual mode before shooting. And you're also going to want to change JPEG to RAW format. This will allow editing to be a lot smoother in post-processing. That is to your liking. I am going to let you know that you don't need nothing really too expensive in the beginning, unless you are aiming for something in the future, maybe for like modeling, magazines, or whatnot. But in the beginning, you're practicing, you're getting used to everything, and you can take some amazing photos with some cheaper cameras. I would focus more on getting a good quality lens though. So let's go ahead and get started with the exposure triangle. So the triangle of light is what's going to help you get good exposure on your photos. You're going to want to understand the relationship between three, so that way you know which ones to adjust and which ones to kind of leave alone. So the aperture does control the depth of field, the shutter speed is going to capture the motion, and your ISO is going to affect your sensitivity to light. The aperture is what brings the blurry bokeh in the backgrounds that a lot of people love. Or depending on your setting, if you're shooting a crowd, you're not going to want to have that at 1.4. So that is something you're going to want to study. And as well as your shutter speed, just depending on if you're taking photos of any kind of action like sports or whatnot, you're going to want to know how to control that as well so you can get a very sharp photo. And ISO is really good because it can help you to kind of get a proper exposed photo, but if you're not careful with it, it can bring a lot of noise into your photos. So another thing you're going to want to start practicing on is composition. Composition basics, pretty much the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is going to create a visually appealing photo. This is what is going to capture balanced images, and you're going to want to experiment with leading lines, framing, and the symmetry in your images. So there will be a setting that you should be able to set in your camera to bring out the rule of thirds, so that way you can get better composition when you are doing photography. And so this pretty much leads into getting familiar with your camera settings. Because like I said, you can turn on and off the rule of thirds, but you're also going to want to get familiar with the balance, the focus, and the metering on your camera. And one of the things that I really like about my camera is that I can customize my buttons, so that way I can get to different menus really fast and change different settings out if needed. So you're going to be in different lighting situations. So it's very important to practice lighting techniques. Get used to high sun, get used to dark areas, get used to indoor light, get used to shooting in the morning, at night, at sunset, because it's going to be very important when it comes to the different scenarios that you will end up in photography. And what's also really cool about light is that this can change the different moods. So just depending on what mood you're looking for that photo, lighting is very important. So after shooting photography, we do post-processing. So this is another thing that you're going to want to get familiar with, because you're going to want to learn basic photo editing to be able to enhance and refine all your photos. Now you probably are going to want to explore different apps. Popular one is Adobe Lightroom, and that way you can get familiar with adjusting your color, your contrast, and even sharpening the photo if needed. I really do love Lightroom and Photoshop. As you become a little bit more experienced with it, you're going to realize and see how creative you can get with your photos as well. So you are going to want to know the basics of your gear, kind of knowing what lens to use in just different situations, whether it's landscape or portrait photography. Take photographs every day of anything, even if it's just simple things around your home, of your animals or whatnot. This will help you to get so much practice and so much experience with different lightings around your home and even outdoors. And afterwards, review your work in post-processing. Look at your mistakes and see what you can improve on. This will help so much in future work and get you better in your photography. Also, to help improve in your work, you can send your photos to someone to get feedback. I know sometimes a lot of us don't want to hear certain things, but we need to in order to get better. And so constructive criticism can be a really good thing. And another thing that I can say is to study inspirational work, someone that you look up to in the photography world. Of course, don't make your photos just like theirs, but you can grab just a little bit from everyone that you love and put it all together and make a photo of your own. You'll eventually build who you are when it comes to your photography and your style. But as you can see, a lot of this is just tying in together. It's pretty much what can make or break a photo. So just remember, you guys, progress takes time. Be patient and enjoy the learning process. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, y'all.